We are 30% of the way there, according to Streamlabs. I want to start talking about the game, but I also don't know. Okay, we're live. We're live. We should be live now. So this is Trepang 2. It is a demo that's on Steam. It's not a full game. It's not available yet, but the demo is available on Steam for free. And what it is, what makes it interesting, and why I'm doing a really, I know not many people watch this, but why I'm doing a short let's play of it is because it's all the combat from the original Fear game. So if you remember the first Fear game, Fear 1 had just some really good fun gunplay, and then Fear 2 and 3 kind of lost that on the way. They were average at best. As Fear 1 was actually quite a good game, other than the ghost bits. Ghost bits didn't really work. Trepang has that combat. And it's an interesting, it's a demo, so it's free, so it's going to be about half an hour. I'm just going to have a look at it, talk about it, and then, if you're one of the few people who watch this, you then might want to go and give it a whirl. So start a new campaign, we'll just stick with normal, because we're not looking to, I'm not that good at this game. Played it for a few hours. But there's a horde mode that comes with it. I'll show you. I'll do the demo has 2 campaign sections. So we're going to do the first one today. Then there's a second campaign section, which I don't think is as good. One of the enemy types aren't that interesting to play against. And then I'll just show you the first bit, and maybe I'll just show you the horde mode. And again, it shouldn't take very long to do that. So, but hopefully gives you a bit of an idea of the game, and what the game is. So, there's no release date yet, but this is available. So here we go. I just pressed E and I turned invisible. They're going to kill us. Get out! And then turn around. So the lighting's pretty good. So our hands are bound. Just trying to find a way out. Dropping a few frames. No, maybe it's the streaming. No, it's okay.
All units, we are under attack by unknown elements. Execute Operation Bright.
So you can hear the baddies.
Keep your head on a swivel. We still around here.
Just crouch.
All right, let's find this asshole.
So they run through there. Again, our hands are bound right now. I don't, obviously, you guys have as much story context as I do right now. So yeah, we don't know what's happening, but our hands are bound. Crouch, try and not get killed. You can hear them yelling. And they found us, which is great. So I've played this a few times and they always find me around then. So I don't know if it's designed that way or not, but it works anyway. The first time you play it especially, you really feel the tension. Which is cool. So similar to the first Fear game, I think the right goes now in. Similar to the first Fear game where the bad guys would yell. They'd just be like, hostile! Enemy down! Stuff like that. But they had insanely deep voices because they were all clones. That was pretty cool. And this has that. So remove restraints. I assume he just shoots them off, but there's no animation for that. He loads the gun. So I think T is for that. So again, guns, you go for the right mouse. There's no zoom in similar to the first Fear game. Well, the first Fear game you press shift and it would kind of like zoom in a little bit. And then we can shoot those. So yeah, but you've got the, I think with this, no, that's not it. That's not it. I played receiver. It tells me, and then press. I find left alt to be really close to the Windows key, so it feels like you could accidentally, turn it off. Anyway, that's locked. So I'm gonna press T. So yeah, it feels pretty similar to the original Fear. This is just a cupboard. I'll just end up in a cupboard, but more anyway. So, yeah, and it's all interior, all office, warehousey spaces. You know, none of it is not the most interesting environments, but it works. You know, you don't like I think just like I uploaded a video with no commentary, just of gameplay, and I think. Well, I like to think that you'll see why it's worth talking about giving a download. I mean, it's free. The demo's free, so it's now time to turn off my flashlight, which is already off. No, Sunday morning brain, I'm afraid. So I think red is generally like a no-go. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some bad guys down here. Yeah, there's a bad guy. Right there. So there's his body. So it's a very dark game. You see, each bullet kind of leaves its own trail, which makes for it's quite satisfying. I think we got him. Yeah, the music changed. So yeah, it's quite yeah, we're shot in the face. It is quite satisfying gunplay. I think that's the thing about it. I think it's interesting about it. Okay, going to turn the flashlight off. So there's a few here. He's just stood still, so let's pop him in the head. Okay, we've now got some slow-mo, so I'll show you some of this. So you gain this by shooting bad guys, and then you press Q, and you get it. And they call it focus, that's what they call it, which I think is generous. Let's get some ammo. They drop, so that's armor, so your armor and health similar to similar to Fear 1. But look, the environment, this is just Fear 1, like Fear 1 was just warehouses and stuff. And that's fine, like that's, like the game, the gunplay is solid, so, you know, it feels like the devs were just like, Fear 1 was the only Fear game. So yeah, that's...
Control, this is Echo. We're investigating Foxtrot's last known position.
So yeah, you see, we can hear them investigating the last known position. So the reason I'm using the pistol, by the way, is because look at the accuracy arrows. Really tight, really not tight. So you can switch to the auto. Oh, there's a shotgun there. I will use that soon, I promise. Let's start off with the pistol though. Coming up, might switch to the shotgun. I think there's still some around. They're dead. So it's just fun. Like you see that and you think that looks ridiculous. Like yeah, it is a bit ridiculous. So you can see like yeah, like it's the shotgun is like body. The gore is pretty intense, but it doesn't feel ridiculous when you play it. It feels fun. I know it sounds weird to have a game with such gratuitous violence and just to say, yeah, this is actually quite gratuitous and it's good fun. Yeah. I'm sure we'll get over that. Feels the same though, it just, you know, they're body exploding shotguns and just weapons, but I felt hefty. And with this, like, the shotgun and the pistol both feel hefty. A few of the automatics do, but not found to be as good. So I think this guy's got I'm out of Q's. So you can see that it running up, it filling up. Oh, you son of a... Yeah, the shot fell down. So say QG, so you got those two bars. One is that, so you can go in Viz. I don't use that enough. And it recharges by itself, so it's pretty good. And the other one is, so that's on E, and the other one on the left is Q, and that's, press that and we go slow-mo. But that only recharges if you do damage to enemies, so you start off with that empty. Was this the way? Just the way we can I go the right way? Wrong way? Lost track a bit of my narration. Don't see any blood on the floor. No, this feels like it's a long corridor. Would have remembered this. Fear did this, where you would be running, and then suddenly, if it's a long corridor, you were like, it's gonna then not be that corridor anymore. And now we're being chased by some paranormal thing, which we can't see, but it's moving. Can we shoot it? It's a shadow on the floor. It's gone. So yeah, it's again sort of saying the only game was the first Fear game. And Fear worked, but some of the ghosts were just not great. Like the combat then just... It's like Crisis when the aliens turn up. It's just not as good as when you're just fighting the Korean soldiers. Here we go. See, because the bullets have travel time. If you're not very good shot. See, that's a bit ridiculous. I think I've actually ever blown anyone's arm off before. But I blew off 2 arms in that one little fight. Some armor and some grenades, there we go. So grenades similar, it just explains down there, similar to Fear 1. Like you throw them and if you hit an enemy dead on, it explodes and you just get like that blood explosion. Which is cool, That's what we like that's what we like in Fear. That's what works. So yeah, I like that. I like that we can hear them yelling. I saw one of them walk past there. He didn't emerge on the other side, and then there's another one there. Again, the indicators as to how much they can see. Alright, I just wanted to shoot his mask. Oh, grenade shit. Sorry, swearing. That's not good. Up the slide. You do this as well. You grab an enemy, and then they don't start shooting until you really start shooting. What's that? Still got the cool music. So yeah, we can shoot this helmet off. Oh no. Shot him in the face. Whoops. But you can... they come in all different shapes and sizes, so these guys... Oh crap. Grenade. Okay, that didn't hit them. That one did. See what I mean? These guys, you can kind of slide into them, similar to the first Fear, and then you grab him, and I don't think there is anyone else to kill. I think we are good. So yeah, the sliding. The interesting thing is actually, when I shoot a couple of shots, if I start reloading and I start sprinting, I cancel the reload, and that's annoying. But if I start reloading and I slide, like he still reloads. It feels slightly inconsistent. That is like a very minor gripe in a demo, and they're still working on this game, working on it for a long time, so it's not a major concern. More ammo, I guess. Body armor. You noticed, well, you will have noticed that I'm not using the automatic weapons. They're not as much fun. I will use one later, but they're just not as tightly mapped. That was fun. The doors are open. Ah, crap. It's those two. Just slid up and I cannot see it. Run around this guy. So yeah, the reloading when he, I mean obviously he's now just stuffing them on the bottom, but when you reload from 0 and he's putting them in like from each side, it's just like little things like that. I'm like, that's someone took the time to be like, this is a cool little animation. I've noticed stuff like this in the demo. So just objects getting clips and things, or especially if you slide, which is so overpowered. Look at the distance he covers. Look. Oh no, that's why you press the Windows key, but that's insane. From standing. I know he's like got super slow-mo powers and all that stuff, but I'm assuming we go this way because the corridor that's lit. And sometimes that just feels a bit empty as a space. And he's like, that's okay, but something a little bit of something. Or I guess what the first Fear game would do is it would have like dead office workers, or like whoever was in this building, they would be there, and there would be. It's like you arrive after something has happened. This hasn't got that. Some more shotgun ammo, so I guess we'll use it. Oh, grenades as well. Just trying to be cool. I think that's everyone. Shotgun as well. Oh, yeah, they're quite well armoured. So I hope you saw that they're this guy quite well armoured. So he has wearing a helmet, which is no, that's a bit of someone else's head, which was somewhere. Anyway, we shot the helmet off. That's cool. That's quite a good automatic, actually. That one there. So it might be time to switch. Basically, what we're looking for is if that's the pistol grouping. Yeah, there we go. So that automatic's got the same grouping. Whereas this automatic doesn't, and it's awful. Because then you just feel like you're being inaccurate when actually you could be bang on. But just the gun is inaccurate. And obviously this one, as you move, it gets bigger, gets wider than the words. So yeah, as you like, the pistol doesn't get that wide as you move. Like it still remains pretty tight. This way. Just open. So the problem, everything kind of looks similar. No, this is different. So yeah, that grouping gets nice and wide, whereas the pistol stays tight when you walk, which is cool. So yeah, again, like I'm noticing more now. Being super critical, we could say the environments are pretty empty. But again, the gunplay is awesome, so if you have fun with the demo, that's the key thing. So you see the enemies are slowly getting harder. Just aiming at wherever I see red. There's a red ice grenade down there. Switch to the auto. So I think I've still got the music. feel like I should run around and get some more armor. Some of them would have dropped armor that I didn't pick up. Let's go around to where we were going anyway. It's quite nice to have a rest day. Like today's my rest day, Sunday, so it's just nice to actually not have anything worky to do today. So just kind of, I wanted to show this game a little bit, hoping that some people watching. Go this way. No, it's locked. It's locked. So yeah, it's nice as well that your health doesn't just refresh. If you stand there like a lemon and get shot, you're gonna die. So which encourages you to move around more and encourages you to use the slow motion. Okay, I remember this bit. So basically, we are going to stay in this room, and they're going to send waves and waves, and we hear the bad guys talking, which is nice. I think this is where the first bunch come from. So. I could have grabbed him and worked through worked through that a little bit more ammo safe. Thanks for a second. I kind of get confused on the third one. I get the shield. Did bounce into him. So now this is, you'll have seen that if you watched the video of me playing this game before, just reloading whilst I'm still in the gun, you've seen that I didn't kill that guy for ages. I kind of held on to him, expecting the next wave to come, but the waves only come. Oh, do we work around clockwise? Is that it? This one? Nice. Yeah. These two. I think he's dead. Oh, it's like a grab, which is not. Oh, one-handed reload, that's pretty cool. See, and the reloads are pretty cool. Feels a little bit John Wicky. John Wicky? Why? Feels a little bit like John Wick. I've got to like.
Get the fuck in there now!
I like them yelling at each other a little bit. Now I've realised this is clockwise, it makes it a bit easier to think about.
Enemy
So they're more heavily armoured now than they were before. Yeah, stuff like this. But we had, to be honest, that was in the original Fear game as well. So it's not like it's specific. Yeah, specific. So he's saying, the rest of you with me, we'll take them out ourselves, and they come busting through this door. Any more grenades? There you go. So that's the bad guy, the big bad guy. Yeah, this whole time. On the floor at least? Or maybe right. Let's try and run. Ah, stuck. So if it's the way, like in slow motion, go ahead. It's like a trail, very much instead. Drop some health. Yeah, rescue teams now landing is the way first. So this implies, and again, their eyes just aren't red. Like that's how you know good or bad. I think you can probably still kill them. Yeah. you get a helicopter, which again, it's like Fear 1, you've got a helicopter from rooftop to rooftop with generic weapons. Yeah, so there is this is that's kind of like that feels like the demo. That's like the polished whatever. There is another demo after that, which isn't as good. And the reason it's not as good is because it doesn't have as just the levels aren't as much fun to navigate. And the enemy types, they have these undead enemies which they aren't really satisfying to play against, because when you shoot them you can't really see them like physically react, and they kind of move like that with guns, so it just doesn't make for an amazing experience. But it does make for it's still fun. Like, I wouldn't say I just think that enemy type needs a bit of work before they release the game. There you go. This isn't over yet, and then it goes on to the next phase of the demo. And we could look at it. How much time have we got? Yeah, we could have a quick look. Probably won't play through the whole thing. Just play until it gets to that enemy type. So I think this might have been the original demo. I don't know. It feels like that bit we just played is their demo, and then this is something else that they released earlier, like an earlier demo that they're like, hey, we're going to include. So, and then it launches us here. So we start off in like a cell type thing. Oh, that was very unsatisfying how that glass broke. Try this one. It's kind of, yeah, that was really unsatisfying. Yep, that's one of the reasons why I don't think it's as good. So yeah, you can see it's got all the it's got all the guidance, like this is what this means.
Watch fire! Yeah! Hide behind a hostage, motherfucker! Got a man here!
Die. Thank you. So yeah. Was that a shotgun? Boom. So yeah, let's play this, because we can talk about why it's a bit worse. So like, that door is locked. It's not obvious that it's locked. And you come around like somewhere in here, yeah. And then it says F none, but then you press F at it and it does unlock it. And then that light changes colour. It's not super intuitive, because that to me, because the environment's not clear, you just can't tell that that's a door. I mean, you can work it out if you've played, played a Doom game before. It's not massively complex, is it? What's the grouping like on that crap? Let's not bother. So you see, pistol grouping doesn't move as you move. So obviously the downside is it's a pistol. Damn it. So shit's coming off in the head. Satisfying. He's dead. So I think, like, with the helmets, if you shoot them in the you get them in the lower part, like not in the hard bit, you will take them out. Also, having a helmet shot off you, like, that's gonna make your head ring like crazy. I know it's not meant to be realistic. So getting your head shot, like the helmet shot off your actual head, it's gonna cause a concussion. So yeah, again, it's saying you beware of enemies, but you can use this, and there's body. Yeah, it just does this bit of the demo, or this demo doesn't feel anywhere near as polished. It's like we're gonna have a corridor section. So I think here we encounter that enemy type, and this is probably where I'll stop playing. No, that's not the enemy type. honestly, it's just so fucking wide. It's just trying to navigate. Oh, here we go. There they are. So you can see they look kind of weird, and they're just a bit annoying. So he's just running his golf course. It just looks a bit ridiculous, and they're not that much fun to play against because if we use the auto, well not the auto, the pistol, I'm going to die, that's okay. They just don't react in quite the way you want them to. And that's just annoying. There's two Horde modes. Horde 1 is in my opinion, the better map. You do have to fight against some of those enemies in this. But I like the hiding in this corner. Basically, it's just fighting waves. The 30 waves slowly, they slowly get bigger and bigger. And it's actually, if you just want to experience the gunplay, and you don't want to mess about with anything else, it is quite good. So this is one guy over there. There's only 3 enemies. None of them will have helmets. So I like how it gives you that Call of Duty like cross when you do kill them. So again, they drop ammo, and double tapping will do that kind of jump to my hidey corner. So I'm not sure if any of them have an assault rifle yet. So the AI will hunt you down once where's that shotgun from? And so he's just stationary. We'll kind of leave them. As soon as if you shoot something that's moving in real life, you have to lead it. I don't think at that distance you need to lead it. Taking into account bullet travel time. But so some of the distances you probably wouldn't have to lead it, it would probably just drop really quickly. But like probably at this distance you'd need to lead a little bit, but not massively. Definitely not at this distance. But you get the really cool trails, which I guess is part of the fun thing. I'm just sucking at bullets. So see, the grouping's not great on this. So I did shit in the head. Yeah. Whereas with this, it's like, and you run, it stays the same, which is cool, I guess, and the same with the pistol. The pistol and the shotgun are just my 2 favourite games in this guns in this game. They're just great. You know, kind of like, why would you use it? It wasn't. Yeah, let that bullet well. 8 bullets left. I don't really want to reload, there's just 1 enemy left, so there's no point. No. So they do drop a gun at some point, which is a better better auto. If this gun had like a secondary option where you single fire it or burst fire, that'd be ace, and it just reduces the grouping. It's like 50 bullets, but you're just not going to hit anything. I mean, you would be stunned, but you'd probably fall to the floor unless it hit armor. It's fun. I know I'm criticising it a lot, but I think at the end of the day, still playing the demo. I'm still really enjoying the gunplay, and like it just feels, I think it's a little bit of a power fantasy, isn't it? Like it gives you all these guns and the ability to slow down time, which these guys don't have. That's just you. Yeah, so it's good. It's good. It's fun to see. Oh, being a cool badass who can shoot things in slow motion. Which feels very late 90s, early 2000s, right? Which is exactly what it's trying to be. I like that they throw flares, so when they think you're nearby, they'll throw a flare. Because if you're in darkness, obviously they can't see you. Can't see you clearly. So, again, like, oh no, don't worry. I'm kind of annoyed at the lack of realism, but this is a game where you press Q to go slow-mo. Because it's just like, if someone shoots your helmet off, it's really gonna... Like, you're not gonna get back up. Not quickly. Yeah, but like, this is a game about shooting supernatural things in slow motion, so shut up. I play too much of the Hunter Call of the Wild, where it's like, trying to have very realistic penetration and stuff like that. That's about hunting animals. My arm's gone. 2 left. 1 left, no? Okay, that's the really... Where is it? Yeah, that's the slightly better grouping one. I think there's a shotgun. Looks like there's a shotgun. I want the shotgun. Let me pick up the fucking shotgun. I just did pick it up and then dropped it. So I'm in a bad position there. Yeah, I guess if you wanted realism, like every time you get shot as well, you would die. Would be very hurt. Right, there you go. Yeah, I think that's slightly better position. So it's got 30 shots in its magazine, and obviously as you run, the grouping drops off massively. But just that stationary grouping, it's great. Doesn't go in when you crouch, which I'm okay with. Grouping is obviously the lines, those 4 lines, the Tom Clancy lines from Rainbow Six, which is I think the first game I remember seeing them in, because all you really had on the screen was just those lines. Oh, I love Rainbow Six. So let's see how this goes. Right, who's stationary? So I'll stop in a second actually, I won't keep going, which means I'll lose the shot. I don't care how strong your arm is, mate, that is... At this range, you would... So that's Trepang. The demo is on Steam. Trepang 2.